Persuadable. What's going on, boo-boos? So today we're doing review my gameplay of Dream Witch, and I'll do my best to really talk about Dream. All right, so what we have here, this is a Group 6 layout, and the primary method for a Dream Witch, specifically a Dream Witch, is to run straight up. You would think the middle, but that's not the case. A lot of Dream Witches like running straight up. That's really where your engagement is. A lot of actually really top tier survivors will avoid going in that house in tournament gameplay. You're going to see that a little later on. And the whole point of this strategy is when you down them, you relocate them to a chair where I just circled. And so the biggest thing with Dream Witch is not only having the ability to down somebody, but also relocating them to a chair that's in a congested area that will slow the decoding down overall in the game, right? And so that's why if you run down the middle like this with Dream Witch and you run across a forward or a mercenary, then you really have to either go that way or that way, which is kind of like a Y shape. So say if you go left and it's somebody else you don't want to engage with, then you got to backtrack and go right. So what's good about this is that even if you see somebody you don't want to engage with, you can keep running straight and you're going to run into at least 3 survivors, which requires no backtracking at all. And you really don't want to have to backtrack with a Dream Witch because it can slow your follower down. As you can see, say if theoretically you didn't engage, you have 3 more survivors that you can run into. Okay? And that's an important distinction. That's why later in the footage, when you see 2 of the top Dream Witches, one from Dow 5 and one from LN, they both run this same exact route and they engage in that house. You're going to see in the first match that they die where that circle is and they relocate them to the chair over here. Remember, relocation is so important for a Dream Witch, and it's very important for any hunter. Don't just down somebody and put them on the nearest chair. It doesn't always work like that. It could work theoretically if they don't have a mercenary, if you want to try to have it so they don't save before half. In the second match, second match, you're going to see the Dream Witch down the survivor here and then put them and relocate them in the middle. And you can see that that allows the Dream Witch to have a lot of vision on all of these ciphers. Now, when I say first and second match, I mean the first and second pro matches. The first match that's about to happen is a Dream Witch. I think he's high tier in Southeast Asia. So we're going to see some of your gameplay, some of the things that you can do, and read the description. Which really, what you're trying to do is you're trying to hold down the Leech button and you put it to a place where you think the survivor may go. And this survivor, actually in tournament gameplay, a lot of the times the survivor will throw that pallet down right there, but it happens to work in the seer's favor. And so the only thing is that when that sucks that you had to do that. So for those who don't know, when you hit with your Leech, the Leech disappears. And that's really unfortunate. Because now it's going to give Seer a little bit of buy-in power. But I believe that you have Patroller. So you're going to Patroller him right here. And then let's see if you're going to have enough time. So you have a few options here. If you don't think you're going to make it, you can Patroller again. You do have another Patroller on this right here. And you can double Patroller. I'll show footage of it in a second. But what I'm surprised on is that since you don't have your Leech, you're not using your Patroller. That's what I was a little surprised by. You know, you have an option here where you can try to Patroller and then his owl disappears and then you can hit him, but it seems like you're not doing that either. It's actually a good job that you're relocating your main body though. That's going to be important as well. You've already used the Patroller on your main body, so you don't have that option left either. So I think that's something that you could have considered. By all means, make sure that you all read the comments. And at the end of this gameplay, I'll actually show you the gameplay of 2 Dream Witches in tournament gameplay that had the same exact route as you. And you can see how they played that. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that you had to hit with your Leech. And it's unfortunate that you got stunned over there. But let's see how you're going to adapt to it. The only thing is, so Mercenary didn't really want to get off that cipher, it seems. The only thing is that you didn't choose the arrow, so I don't know what trait you have. So I know a popular thing for Dream Witches to do is that they'll go on the whole patroller thing and then they switch over to blink eventually, depending on the circumstances. And again, I really urge all of the players or the viewers to watch the end of this video clip as well. I will put up both instances of the Dream Witch running the same route. Let's see what you're going to do now. You're doing a really good job, though. So you're going to move your main body. That's a good thing that you're leeching the person on the rocket chair in case they get away. You don't gotta. That's very important. Making sure whoever you're trying to kill first is the one that's always leeched. That way, if they do run away or you hit them, then you don't have to follow them. Good blink. Good job. Very good job. Let's see what you're gonna do. Excellent multitasking skills. So this is a very high tier Dream Witch, I believe, on the Asia server. Did I say that? I think you're on the Southeast Asia server. You're doing good at multitasking. You have two people chaired. That's a brilliant circumstance. I actually really thank you for submitting this footage because it gave me a lot of time to do research on which route Dream Witch should run with this sort of format. It's always good to learn from other players. The big thing too is to not talk about things that you don't always necessarily understand. I've played Dream Witch quite a bit. I've probably played a couple hundred matches with Dream Witch. And the multitasking with her just requires so much skill, so much ability. I think the biggest weakness that Dream Witches do is that they get tunnel vision and then they don't know how to relocate the downed survivor in a congested area. You'll see that I think you'll see it in the second clip at the end of this video. So I'll have a Dream Witch video and then I'll have another high tier Dream Witch running the same route. And you see that when he downs a survivor, he brings that survivor towards a congested area where other survivors are to disrupt the decoding. And that's a really big Dream Witch strategy. You don't always want to put them in a chair that's in the corner of the match or in the corner of the map because then you're not really disrupting the decoding speed. But you're doing a pretty good job. You got one person eliminated. You got one person down. You still have two ciphers eliminated. I mean, two ciphers left. You see forward also not really being able to decode. And then forward. You know, that's not that bad of a strategy from the forward. Throwing the pallet down, that's tough. You never know if they're going to swing or not. But yeah, using that football to get away, it's not always the worst thing to do. It's really difficult for a lot of forwards against Dream Witches sometimes. But you know what's interesting is that in tournament gameplay, you still see a lot of Dream Witches preferring the ban forward. Let's see what you're... All right. So you got this person Leech. Let's see how you do. Beautiful, beautiful blink. And one of the things I want to, again, recommend is any other high-tier Dream Witch. You have any input, by all means, put it in the description. You know, we did a lot of coaching with some of the best Dream Witches on the server. I learned a lot from them. They taught me more than anything, actually. And if you're watching this, one of the sequences you really want to try to do is hit with your main follower, not the Leech follower. I still feel like early game you could have used the patroller. I think you still could have used the patroller a little bit more efficiently with your minion. But excellent gameplay, beautiful gameplay, good job. Thank you for sharing it. And really, I'm just sharing some of the stuff that I learned watching your gameplay. And this is actually Duo 5 DX running the same exact route as you. This was within the last week, I believe. So this is very fresh footage, and you can see which route they're going to run. I'm going to have two Dream Witches that end up doing this, just so you can have a little bit of comparison here. And so in this situation, the survivor ran away from it. So it's almost like what the survivor did was kind of like a good idea, running into your leech, because it kind of got absorbed. But one thing that I have noticed is that a lot of high-tier survivors in the China tournaments do not like going up in that house. So in the house like you see how he's avoiding the house, a lot of these high-tier survivors avoid that house against a Dream Witch. Because you can use the double patroller, or you can set up a trap on their way down, or you can vault the window so they can't vault it as fast, which was another thing that you could have possibly tried to do when you vault with your main body. You vault with your main body, and then they can't really go through the window, and it might have bought you enough time. But okay, so you see this route. I don't think we're gonna watch the entire video here. I can upload this at a later time. But what we'll do, hold on. Okay, so they're gonna put them there, and then what we're going to, okay. This is actually an example of, you see how they're relocating to a more congested area, right? So instead of going in that first rocket chair, you see that this rocket chair that the survivor is currently in allows the Dream Witch to be closer to some of these other ciphers. So you saw that. You saw the Dream Witch strategically planned for that. And the Dream Witch strategically planned for the idea that, hey, I don't want to be all the way in the corner, because then I got to watch the rocket chair, and I'm still trying to watch some of these ciphers. Not, by the way, suggesting that you didn't do that. I'm teaching you some of the stuff that I learned, and I don't think I'm really teaching you anything, because you did a great job as a Dream Witch. So beautiful gameplay on that. And so I don't really know what to do here. I don't know if I should keep letting this footage go. I feel like you guys are invested. You know what I mean? Like, why am I going to just turn it off now? So maybe we should be invested in this. But this was within the last tournament. I am talking to NetEase right now about possibly getting English voiceovers of tournaments. So we'll see how that goes, by yours truly. So we can, have better access to some of this footage and material. But after this, you also see LN. And so I figured, you know what? Actually, the best thing that I could do is just let this fucking footage roll, because what I'm going to do is, I think it would be better for you guys to learn from some of the footage yourself, and maybe you'll take some things away from it than the things that you take away that I'm not even realizing either. So by all means, if you see some certain things in these videos, definitely go into the description and see what other people are writing. The big thing here is, like I said, I have a lot of experience playing Dream Witch. You know what motivated me to play Dream Witch? And by the way, you can see that he or she switched to using Blink. So that's a popular strategy as well, going from Patroller to Blink to secure your kills. It's so funny how Dream Witch has actually changed a lot. You used to see Teleport more, used to see Abnormal more, until that got nerfed. But anyways, I digress. What made me want to learn Dream Witch was when there was a user on YouTube who was just like, everyone's making a big deal about how difficult Dream Witch is, and she's really not that hard to grasp if you practice. And I was like, that's an interesting take. I remember the first time Gamer Grizzly and I MCing for a Dream Witch. And and I was like, man, this is fucking hard. Trying to MC for a Dream Witch when you don't play Dream Witch was really, really hard to do. And so I spent, hours and hours working with AO and working with other, working with KKZ, watching. I probably watched KKZ, also known as 464. I probably watched him for like a month straight. And, I watched other top Dream Witches, for a month straight. And I also, Paul Blooms is actually a good Dream Witch as well. And really taught me a lot of the strategies. And what I have learned about Dream Witch is that the early game is pretty easy to get down. It's really not that difficult. All you do is you leech. You hope that you can hit with your spawn, not the leech, but your main spawn, so your leech is still active. And then you just pretty much patroller with the main body if you have to, as the survivor's running away, because by the time you patroller, the leech is already on them. All right, so that's why you see a lot of survivors running away, and you see their main body following, and a lot of them will wait till they're a certain distance, and then once their follower and Leech is catching back up, they patrol her with the main body. Okay, and that's a specific strategy that you'll see actually in the next match as well with the Dream Witch. You know what? Fuck it. I think I'm just going to play the whole footage of the next match too. I know this is going to be a long video, but you know, the Review My Gameplay series, it better informs me. It makes me a better coach. When I do decide to coach, it makes me a better MC. And, you know, I think that us trying to tackle some of this stuff as a community can elevate a lot of our own gameplay. And that makes me excited to watch. You know, that's what I kind of like about my Persuadable brand. You know, 1 minute you're getting sex jokes and Boston Gym. The next we're talking about, you know, science and medicine. And the next thing we're going into the high technical gameplay. It doesn't get more technical than this, than really identify. Think about that. You were watching a video based on one hunter, based on one spawn point number 6 of Eversleeping Town. That's crazy. So you should feel accomplished. And this will also give you a better idea of how to counter Dream Witch as well, and some of the strategies that you can expect to see from them. You know, one of the things that I was thinking about was uploading all of these matches separately too, so that's something I might consider. But I have my plate full, man. We have a lot of people submit and review my gameplay, and I don't want to give, you know, just bland information all the time. You know, like just this one gameplay episode took me, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours of research, and you know, I'm not always going to be able to provide the high-end gameplay. You know, when it comes to a tournament, you never know what spawn point they're going to get. But it just so happened that when I was reviewing this Dream Witch footage, I actually got in touch with a bunch of Dream Witch mains, and some of them were like, oh yeah, I would never run to that house. And I actually agreed with them. And then I see the top tier gameplay from tournament. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, so directly after that match, this match happened, and you can see that it is now LN's Dream Witch. You can see that mercenary coming forward. We talked about that, and yet they still prefer this house. And again, you're going to see a lot of top tier survivors avoid the house because they know that a lot of good Dream Witches, they have the ability to trap you once you go inside that house. That's why they're all avoiding it. I think that using the house as a survivor is really good against medium tier and low tier Dream Witches, but a good Dream Witch really knows how to trap you, utilizing several techniques. And you see a lot of those survivors very scared of that, so that's why they're avoiding the house pretty much at all costs. Okay, so anyway, so you see that this person is injured, all right, and you see it's almost like the Dream Witch actually allowed the Leech to get stunned, so it slowed down the mechanic to get that first hit with the main follower. And so you see that you're going to circle around, and they're leaving the Leech on the other side. Now it doesn't matter if you hit with the Leech. See how that Leech disappeared? All right. It doesn't matter now because the skill has already reset where you can re-leech them. Now, for the viewers who are listening in, you always want to make sure that you're leeching the body that went down. You are trying to make sure you leech the person who's on the rocket chair. Because if you hit, so say if somebody goes in for the rescue and you hit that person on the rocket chair for Tide Turner to activate, you don't always need to focus on them because they have 20 seconds of immunity, which means that you can use your other followers to focus on other survivors. You don't need to worry about that survivor because the Leech is going to follow them. So it almost gives you like 20 seconds to look around you and do other things while the Leech is just going to follow the person who gets downed anyways. Anyways, that's not talking to the person who's a high tier Dream Witch. That's just to all the viewers. And we're going to see what LN does over here. We can see the kiting happening. Still following them. And that was the mechanic that they were originally going after. So Dow 5's doing a pretty good job over here. Excellent job from both of them. Actually, that was a really good move there. The mechanic understood that she was going to blink and immediately tried to revolt that pallet. And probably ran a little bit too far. Tried to bait it. And Dream Witch knew exactly what was happening. had the ability to turn around and counter that. That's good. Very, very good. So we see that mechanic is down again. So let's see what's going to happen. Even if you don't hit them, eventually the leech is going to come. And you can tell who's leeched by the purple indicator. So let's see what's going to happen here. Gonna move around. You see that leech really catching up. And that's why you see a lot of dream witches always leeching the person that they're going after, obviously, and the person on the rocket chair. That should always be your main strategy. I see a lot of low tier dream witches, they go and try to what's it called? Sorry, I got distracted. They try to leech the person going in for the rescue, and you don't want to do that unless somebody doesn't have a leech on them on the rocket chair. You know, one of the older strategies that I remember, if there's a dream witch that's listening, does this still happen as a strategy where they use patroller and they try to patroller the rescuer and prevent the rescuer from saving before half? Is that still a thing in legendary rank mode? That used to be so frustrating. So you would have dream witches that would still have patroller ready, and then they would try to patroller the rescuer from super far out. They used to ban mercenary. And they would ban mercenary because they would patroller you super far out and you didn't have the ability to elbow pad. I don't think they do that anymore. I'm pretty sure LN and Dow 5, I can't remember. I think both of them banned forward, but I may be wrong. Oh, that was a beautiful charged attack. That was actually awesome. So they charged attack, blinked, and then just kept that was a great move. And so what they're going to do now is try to secure this. Now, here's the difficult part. I'm not sure if they're judging this tournament differently. I don't think they are. But what sucks about this Dream Witches situation is that in the last match, they got all 4 survivors eliminated. So even if one survivor is rescued, if one survivor escapes, they end up winning the round. So there's a lot of pressure on this Dream Witch to perform well. And you can also see that the Dream Witch, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Dream Witch earlier tried to vault the window and didn't vault the window. And that allowed the seer to go and vault through that window. And so that's why he ended up blinking out. I'm pretty sure that the Dream Witch tried to vault that window. Now remember, as you're vaulting the window, somebody else can't vault that window, right, ladies and gentlemen? We know that. So I'm pretty certain that that's what happened there. So, but this is excellent gameplay. I mean, this would definitely be a win in Legendary Rank mode. And remember that these Dream Witches, okay, they're going against some of the best survivors with 4-person team communications. That is not easy. That is not an easy thing to do. All of these people are talking to one another right now because this is an official tournament. So for these Dream Witches to perform on this level, running the same exact route as our first friend, thank you very, very much for submitting your gameplay. Hopefully the footage will allow people to learn some things that I didn't point out. Maybe some of the things I pointed out help. Thank you very much. This was an awesome experience.